Hello students, my name is Mrs. Rati Pillai. I'm a teacher at Palitilak Vidyalaya English Medium School. In our today's session, we are going to look at question 6b, which is speech writing or view counter view. This is asked for 5 marks. Question 6b1 is speech writing. The marks distribution for speech writing is introduction 1 mark, completeness and language use 2 marks, logical sequence 1 mark, grammar and vocabulary 1 mark. So what is speech writing? It is a formal address or discourse delivered to an audience. The reasons for writing are to inform, to explain, and to persuade. Now, there are different types of speeches which are there. It could be political speeches, which is given by leaders and politicians, school speeches by teachers, students, which is like elocution competition that you have, or an extempore that you give, felicitation speech to celebrate success, speech to introduce an event or the chief guest, farewell speech, a closing speech which is there, which is, for example, the vote of thanks. Now, you have to remember that a good speech is a sum process of your thoughts, your attitude, your personality, your emotion, and your ability to reach out. Okay. Now, what is important is the tone is the attitude your writing adopts. Similar to the tone of the voice, tone in writing conveys whether we are positive, negative, or neutral about the topic which is there. So, the secret of getting ahead is getting started. So, how do we get started? It's important to understand the topic given, list down the ideas. The second step would involve listing down the ideas, connecting the ideas. How do you connect all the ideas? How do you bring it all together? Organizing your ideas, then writing it down, evaluating whether you have done a proper sequencing is there, you have followed, you understand what you have written, and that gives you the final product. So, your pre writing stage would be to be well acquainted with the topic. Okay, it's important that you know on what topic you're going to write on. So, you need to read a lot, you need to be aware of what's happening, what are the possible uh, topics. Which will, what points can you add on? So it's important that you be well aware with the topic. Put your vocabulary to good use. Different vocabularies should be used, to ensure that the right meaning, the right essence of what you're trying to say comes out. A thorough knowledge of the subject. You need to, like it's said in the first point itself, you need to be aware, you need to know what you're writing. You can't be simply writing for the sake of it, you can't simply be bluffing. So it's important that you have a thorough knowledge of the subject. Read and research. This is pre-reading activity, pre-writing activity which is there. So you need to read and research. Develop organizational skills. Master the art of summarizing. Very important. We have seen in our earlier session about summarizing. So it's important how you can cut the long story short. Reduce it so that the impact is made and you know that this is it. This, if I speak or say, should do the trick. And remember, the word limit is 100 words. So please see to it that you don't go overboard. Now, suppose here is the format and tips to help you to write your perfect speech. A perfect speech must consist of title. The title is important when you write the speech. Now, suppose if you have a speech to be delivered on the occasion of the birth anniversary of Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak, after the title comes the opening line. This includes salutations, introduction, and the topic. Please do not mention your personal details like name of the school, etc. in the exam. Okay. So, keeping in mind the topic which was there, your salutations, your introduction could be something in like this: respected chief guest, principal, deputy headmistress, supervisor, special invitees, parents, teachers, and my dear friends. A learned scholar and writer, a lawyer and an educationist, a social reformer and a mathematician, the integral part of the Lal Bal Pal, the father of the Indian unrest who exemplified the true meaning of patriotism. Yes, I am talking about Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak, the father of the Indian unrest. It is my honor and privilege to pay tribute to the great leader Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak on his birth anniversary. This is how the introduction and the salutations, all included, would be looking like, should be like. Now, the body of the speech. So, getting down to business. If it is about any social or environmental issue, make the purpose of your speech clear depending on the topic which is asked. So, make the purpose why you're stating, why you're saying the speech. Define the problem, its causes, and consequences. Your speech should bring out what the problem is. So say what the problem is, what are the causes for the problem, and what are the consequences that can arise because of this particular problem. Then it's important that you suggest corrective actions, solutions, agencies and organizations which can help. So it's important that you not just mention that the causes and the consequences, come out with solutions, bring out solutions which what can be done to reduce the problem, and what are the agencies and organizations which are possibly to help for this work. Okay. If the topic is about viewpoint on some existing topic, enlist the advantages and disadvantages. So if the topic given to you is a certain viewpoint which is there on some existing topic, then bring out the through your speech, bring out the advantages and disadvantages. You, again I repeat, you have to strictly follow the prescribed word limit of 100 words and complete the paper in a limited time frame. So please do not get carried away. Practice is important. With practice only, you will be able to know how much to write, where to stop, and how to give a proper ending to your speech. Okay? You can add anecdotes, quotations, stories, illustrations, examples, and statistics to add substance to your writing. Now, if you take our lesson, Let's March, in that you have a lot of examples which are given, illustrations are given about the problem, statistics have come out. Only thing is, if you're not sure of something like the statistics part or whatever, don't write it. Write only what you're really sure of, what you know for sure. Yes, this is correct. Okay. And most importantly, don't deviate from the topic in hand. Don't go away from what is asked. Sometimes it happens that what is asked is different and what you end up writing is completely different. So see to it that you know the topic well and you're writing on the topic, not have deviated from it and writing on something else. Now, for the conclusion, it is important that you sum up your points, include a quote for an effective closure, and end on a positive note. In the concluding line, thank the audience for their cooperation and for giving you a patient hearing. Now, this is an example of a speech to be delivered on the occasion of World Environment Day. Respected headmistress, teachers, and my dear friends, today is World Environment Day. Observed every year on 5th June, it is an initiative by the United Nations to raise awareness about environmental problems and the need to conserve, preserve, and protect the environment. The environmental problems in the form of deforestation, soil erosion, pollution, extinction of animals, depletion of ozone layer, etc. are on a rise. On this day, we should pledge to become selfless and become more responsible towards the environment we are part of. Tree plantation drives, cleanliness drives, creating awareness regarding the ill effects of pollution, etc., are a few simple steps we can take to stop environmental deterioration. It is high time we take responsibility of our action and take charge of the environment. We have to understand that nature is giving us warning regarding the natural balance which is upset due to our thoughtless actions. We should sustain the beauties and the bounties of nature as we walk on the path of development. The harm is already done. Undoing it is impossible. We can surely rectify our mistakes by not repeating them. Let us remember the words of Gandhiji: there is enough in this world for everyone's need, but not for everyone's greed. As responsible world citizens, let us resolve to work towards a greener world and a healthy environment. The future lies in our responsible actions. Let us remember, we have not inherited this planet from our ancestors, but borrowed it from our future generations. Let us handle it with care. Thank you. So, if you see here in this particular speech, the salutations, the introduction is covered. Then you have the body, which is telling us about the problem. Of course, then it's talking about the corrective measures and what needs to be done. There is a part which talks about the causes and how the ill effects are and what can be done, what corrective measures can be taken to reduce the problem. And of course, it ends on a positive note that we need to work hard together to ensure that we can save the environment. And of course, at the end, it is saying, concluding by thanking the audience. All right, so this is how the speech has to be written. Now, going ahead, just to sum up with all the parts that we just saw, be clear about the topic that you're writing on. Have a clear message for the readers. Conciseness, that is, keep it short and simple. Remember, I repeat, the word limit is 100 words. It should be interesting. The speech should be written in an interesting manner. In order to make the speech interesting and enriching, educative and entertaining, we can include various stories, examples, and quotations. An informal touch. Though the speech is a formal address, it should be presented in a personal and informal way with a dash of informal touch. Now, how you present it, that's very important, but particularly when you are saying the speech. Okay, and the same feeling should come in when the speech is written also, so that informal touch is needed. And lastly, free from excessive display of emotions. Another important feature of a good speech is that it should be delivered in an unbiased and unemotional way. Our emotions may drive us away from the main theme. So that was about speech. Now, question 6b2 is view counter view. So you have an option, either you attempt B1, which is speech writing, or you attempt view counter view. So what are the things to remember? What is view, and how to go about attempting this question? Let's see then. Viewpoint is a way of regarding a subject. There are multiple ways of viewing a situation. When you look at a half filled glass and say it is half empty, it is a view. At the same time, if someone says it is half full, it is a counter view. So, when you are provided a view and asked to give a counter view, remember to read the view and get a better understanding of the view. Think, analyze, and conclude how your views differ from the one stated. Organize your viewpoint and express your opinion. Supplement your views with illustration, statistics, and proofs. The style of writing should be formal, almost in the nature of a speech, and every line should express thoughts that oppose the viewpoint expressed in the topic given. It's important that when a view is presented and you're writing its counter view, you have to be sure that every line that you're writing is counter viewing the view which is stated. Okay, so it's very important that you understand what is asked and what you are writing. Okay, the marking scheme for view counter view would be something like this. Introduction and conclusion will be for 1 mark. Appropriate vocabulary and grammar will be for 1 mark. Expression of opinion in good and lucid language with logical order will be for 2 marks. And lastly, the confidence and assertiveness in opinion expressed will be for 1 mark. Now, here is an example of how you could do a view counter view question. Write a counter view for the following topic. Being in 10th standard, we should concentrate only on academics and not sports and games this year. Now, the views are given for this. The pressure to excel academically, the need to score high percentage to get admission in colleges, too many subjects to study, very little time due to classes and other activities, exams and tests every week, parental expectations. Now, you have to remember that what is given here is the view. That is, because you're in 10th standard, you should concentrate only on academics and not on sports and games. And these are the points given in support of this view. Now, you have to write the counter view. So you have to first write the word counter view, give the counter view title. Now, as it is mentioned here, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So this is our counter view title. And then you go on to write the counter view, what you feel. Sports and games are extremely important to keep us fit and fine in this crucial year when we are preparing to appear for our boards. Yes, there is pressure to excel academically, but let us remember that remaining active on the playground will only contribute to our general well being. The recreation and relaxation which sports provide will help us to rejuvenate ourselves and start our studies with renewed vigor and enthusiasm. Yes, there is pressure of scoring high marks to get admission in good colleges. But with a little bit of time management, we will succeed in doing justice to the curriculum. We will also find time to attend classes, prepare for the tests, and excel. It is all about striking a balance between play and work. Excess of anything is bad. So, when we take regular breaks from our studies, it will help us to remain stress free. Sports and games, like Mahatma Gandhi has rightly said, adds to our capacity to excel more than taking away from it. We will be able to live up to our parental expectation only if we are physically and mentally fit. Let us take on the playground and give our best shot, not only while playing, but also while preparing for the exam. So, in this, if you see what's happened is all the views which have been given in support of the view, in the counter view that you're writing, you are stating, you're mentioning all how the views are opposed, how you are opposing every view which is given, and that's how you have brought it ahead, written the passage, and then finally you end on a positive note again that yes, it's possible to manage both. We need not sacrifice one for the other. Okay, so on that note, then we end this session. Thank you very much. All the best.